Welcome back to part 2 of Forms with Mobiconnect. My name is Josh. I'm the community manager and one of the lead developers here at Mobiconnect. And in this series, we're taking you through building forms and using other features within Mobiconnect to optimize that form taking process as well as building it. If you haven't seen part 1, click here or the link in the description, and that'll take you through to part 1, which was actually building the form itself using the Mobiconnect form builder. In this video, we're going to take that completed form and show you how it can interact with the documents feature and use the tasks feature to assign it to your users, and subsequently have those users take the form, complete it, and submit it back to the documents feature as well. You can also, with the tasks, do stuff like schedule them. So with our form, it was a more one-off induction form, but I'll also show you how you can actually schedule to make that form completed every day. So if it's like a checklist for, starting work in the morning, it will be assigned every day, and they'll have a task waiting in their list to complete that same form. And because it's auto-saved, you'll have a history of that form saved to a particular folder. Without any further ado, let's jump straight back in and get started. Okay, here we are back in Mobiconnect. As you'll see, we've got our forms project that we created in part 1. So if we enter that, everything's going to load up. And if we go back to forms over here, you'll see we've got our induction checklist that we created. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go over to Company Docs. So Company Docs was added when we selected Document Manager from the feature list in part 1. In here, this is where we're going to store all of our company docs. Just like any document manager that you'd be familiar with, you can create folders. So first off, we're going to create a folder where our completed forms are going to go. And then we're also going to create a folder for the forms themselves. So in here, what we're going to do is we're going to create an item. So how a document item differs from a normal, drag and drop a Word document into a folder, for example, is this allows you to have multiple types of the same document in the folder attached to the one item. For example, we've got our induction checklist, which we created. And then if we go next, we can attach our documents. So I'll just go in. So I've added my fake form that we based our digital form off. And then you see down the bottom here, we can also attach the form that we created as well. So this way, we have a place in our document manager with the original and now the digital version saved to an original folder. So it makes it easier to keep track of both versions of that. So the PDF original and the new induction form as well. So if we go back out here, we've got our 2 folders, originals, and where our completed forms are going to go. So now that we've set up what we need to in documents, we can go back to the form builder, edit this. And if you remember at the end of part 1, we were talking about the optional submit to folder field. So now that we've created a folder that we know we want our completed forms to go to, we can actually select that, choose the completed forms folder that we created, and now publish it again. And every time someone completes this form now, it's going to be saved in that completed forms folder. So it makes it very easy for us to track all the new forms that will be created or completed forms that will be created based on the induction checklist form here. So that pretty much covers what we need to do with forms and the document manager. Next, we're going to move on to actually assigning tasks that have those forms attached to our users. So if we go over to tasks here, you'll see here that, it's a great day. There are no tasks here, right? That's just because we haven't created any tasks yet. For our first task, we'll go in. So you'll see here, you can attach users or teams. Teams simply being, of course, a collection of users set up in the teams function. For now, we only have one user in our platform, ourselves. So we'll use ourselves as the example. Of course, task name is required. So we'll just make it nice and easy, complete form. From this list, you can actually attach either a document, a course, or a form, or of course have no attachment. Probably think we'll attach a form. If we just wanted to attach the digital form we created, we would select form. What we're going to do is actually select document, and I'll show you the reason for in a moment. Now, frequency is pretty self-explanatory. You can actually choose it to be completed on or completed by a date, never have an end date, or of course be scheduled. So I did say earlier in the video that you can create create forms that might need to be completed every day, or, you know, once a week, or once a quarter, etc. So you can actually set that all up here and then just basically forget about it, and your users will be notified when their new task is assigned and reassigned every day, every week, so on and so on. For this one, obviously, it is a one-off, so we're just going to say complete on, and we're obviously going to choose today because we'll complete the task today, and select a description for the task. So please complete this form, and we'll select the attachment. In here, we can go into forms, and there we go. Our induction checklist is there. We'll add that item to the form. And the reason we chose the item versus just the form is, in this instance, we might give them the option of giving them that old hard copy version and the new form to complete. So this means that if we are dealing with somebody who, needs a printed version of the form as well, they can have the option to use the old printed version, or of course, the much more streamlined process, they can just complete the online form as well. If, of course, you only want to give them the option of the digital form, you can choose that. You can choose the task type as form and just simply attach the digital form as well. So we'll publish that. There we go. There's our new task. If we check there, it tells all little details about that, the assignee, etc., and our attached document. And if we go over to my tasks here, because of course I signed the task to myself, it has told me I've got a new task that is due today. There are email notifications for tasks as well. So actually, funny enough, I just received a new task has been assigned to your email. Now, those emails are automatic. Are switched on as default. They can also be switched off in the settings as well, and I'll quickly show you that at the end of the video. So here we are. We've got our new task with our new form, and if we've got our attached induction checklist on the right-hand side, if I was to click on that, of course, I can download the hard copy, as I mentioned, or in this instance, we just want to go and complete our form. And I can click submit. There we go. We've now converted the form into the read-only mode, and it has been saved in the background. So you can see here, we've got all of our fields filled out, and I can't actually edit them anymore because it's now fixed. So if I go back to our company docs here and go into completed forms here, you'll see that we've got our induction checklist dash the name of the user who completed it. And if I go back in here, we're taken back to that same preview we saw before. But now, of course, if you're the supervisor or in management, you can also see that completed version as well. So that, in a nutshell, pretty much covers the entire workflow from building the form in part 1 to creating a document item so we can house the original version, which is our hard copy, and our new digital version that we created. And then, of course, that user going in and completing the form as well. Now, just before I sign off, as I said, with the email notifications, they are all available in here. So as you can see, we've got Task Manager as well as a lot of the other features that are available in Mobiconnect, and you can just switch them on and off. Of course, they're going to be on by default, and it's probably good with tasks especially to keep them switched on as well. So make sure your users are kept up to date. So that was forms, documents, and tasks, and how they all interact together to create a really streamlined process for yourself, your users, your customers, however you envision putting this together. Because, of course, the process I just showed you is just one way of using it. You can jump in and configure Mobiconnect any which way you want and find a niche way to optimize your processes. Don't forget to check out the channel for other videos on different features and some of the things you can achieve using the other features in Mobiconnect. I hope you had fun. I know I did, and I'll see you next time.